This is called Reclaiming the Space. A man winks at me and I turn my headphones off and I use the reflections in the glass to see if they are still walking away from me and that they haven't turned back. I feel angry that I feel like I have to do that and I feel weak. So I tighten my fists and I repeatedly play out a scenario where a man winks at me and I turn my headphones off. I use the reflection in the glass to see if they are still walking away, and they are. So I breathe a sigh of relief and put my music back on and repeatedly play out a scenario where a man winks at me and I turn my headphones off. I use the reflections in the glass to see if they are still walking away from me. I breathe a sigh of relief. I press play, and then he's round me, all over me, all consuming with pure terror, pure fear, pure violence, and I'm struggling and I can't breathe. And I repeatedly play out a scenario where a man winks at me and I turn my headphones off. I use the reflection in the glass to see if they are still walking away. And I slide my hand slowly into the waistband of my skirt and pull out my Glock 9mm, one more check in the reflective surface of the morning chicken shop, and then I back up into the doorway, check my position, and then the space between us is freezing, it's slowing down and it's shrinking. You walk towards me and I shrink, hoods down, heads up. Through my headphones I hear, these my streets, these my corners, fucking with Max B, yeah baby you're gonna, bullets in your ass like heat from a sauna, jeeps run up on ya. And these words resonate with me in my headphones as you enter the dead zone because a man winks at me. A man puts his hand on my leg by accident on the commuter train and quickly apologises. He turns to the side, crosses his legs so as to put as much distance between us as possible. A man puts his hand on my leg by accident on the commuter train and quickly apologises, but with his hand still on my leg. Then he turns to the side, crosses his legs so as to put as much distance between us as possible, and I spread mine in response. I spread mine. I lean back and I turn my music up. A man puts his hand on my leg by accident, but then checks to see if I'm offended or into it. So I maintain eye contact. I trace his fingers with mine, link my fingers through his, and then break every single one. A man puts his hand on my leg by accident, and I freeze, and I stare at my iPod, like please let me have the courage to speak, or to stare, or to fight, or to cry, and I just move my leg away from him and I stare out the window for the whole journey home, hoping the next stop is his. But recently I have learned to spread my legs, and I have learned to lean, I have learned to stare strong and silent until someone else moves. A bag, a leg. I am learning to manipulate the commuter train. I spread my legs aggressively, but only because it is an aggressive gesture. My boyfriend puts his hands around my waist and I flinch. My father sits opposite from me, the other end of the room, miles between us, as I try to explain what's new. He goes and I stay, and negative space consumes where he once sat. Lean back, spread your legs, occupy the space, turn your music up, grit your teeth and growl at the people already looking at you like you're a freak. Hope they go home and tell their partners about you, because now the space they tried to take from you, the space they tried to make you shrink into, you are occupying. You are in their front room. Your description darts over the dinner table and then you are in that space. A man in a suit rolls his eyes at me and then mutters to his identical twin next to him, comically and a little camply. They whisper behind their briefcase. But now I occupy that space too. I am in the space between their two faces and their briefcases. Later they go home and they both jack off to the idea of me occupying the space upon their face, and now I am there taking up the space between them and their unsatisfied wives. Someone thinks I am dressed provocatively, I know, at the pub, right? And they talk about it at their table, totally incognito, and there I am, in all their negative space. I am falling out of their mouths. I grow, I stretch, I bend, and I manipulate. And here I am, but I'm also there. I sit with the masturbating businessman over breakfast. He has memories of me from last night and cannot look his wife in the eye. He absent-mindedly rubs his fingers against the turquoise advert for H2O in the newspaper, the same turquoise as my hair. And there I am, I'm right there in the ink. He opens the free newspaper at the train station to read the same fucking news he just read for breakfast, and he tries to shake me from his mind. But when he turns his paper to the love interest, he sees, "Hey baby, I noticed you looking at me the other day and I wondered if you wanted to take things a little further. Love, Lady in Blue." Collectively, the whole train holds its breath. He glances up, do they know? I mean, Uhe gets the same train every day. They've all seen me. They all know that I'm there. The other day, I mean, when is that? What is it that she wants? Is she talking about me? The whole train thinks the same thoughts from the different angles because they all stopped, they all stared, they all muttered. Then collectively, the whole train sighs. And with that sigh, that space is now full of me. I am the space. I was always the space. A man puts his hand on my leg. Well, he nearly does. But something about the atmosphere tells him not to. Time seems to slow down the closer his skin gets to mine. And that is because the atoms between us are now on my side. Thanks.